a key member of the January 6th Select Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us. The creator of that PowerPoint says he actually visited the White House, briefed members of Congress, spoke to Mark Meadows, who was then the White House Chief of Staff. What questions do you have for him about the extent of this planning and coordination?
I think that's it. I think it's a lot of, who did you talk to? When did you talk to them? Why? Where did you get this information from? Can you talk about, anything else on that level? Because we've interviewed over 300 people, and I know, things like Meadows contempt and Bannon contempt get a lot of attention, as they should, because they need to come in front of the people's legitimately constituted inquiry into this stuff. But there's a lot of people that are giving us a lot of information, and this can be a key piece to that. But I mean, the reality is about a year ago now, and I can't believe it's been a year. It also seems like it's been 10 years ago and yesterday at the same time. But there was this kind of fever pitch to not accept the fact that a legitimate election had happened. And that's why the committee is so important, Wolf. It's not just about the day of January 6th. That's an important point. But it's about what is the rot that led up to that, and how do we prevent anything like that from happening again? And so I expect we'll have a lot of questions. Because
if we don't learn from those blunders, those mistakes, we're going to repeat them down the road, God forbid. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan did confirm that he's the one who sent instructions to the then White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the day before the January 6th attack on how then Vice President Mike Pence could actually reject the electoral votes. How brazen was it for him to attempt to serve on the committee investigating the January 6th attack, knowing he actually pushed this coup attempt?
Yeah, it's extremely brazen. And, by the way, there's a few people that had ideas sent to Mark Meadows. I'm sure over time there will be more and more information that we'll put out about that. And everybody had their theory. And by the way, none of the theories were things like, hey, Mark, let's actually count the votes and go with the winner. It was some way to finagle the Constitution or use a different article or send it back to the states or tell the state legislators to disregard their own people's will. And for Jim Jordan to have done that and then to want to serve on the committee, first off, shows that there would not have been. All he would have served was trying to shut down the legitimate inquiry of this committee. By the way, he wants to serve as chairman if Republicans win the majority of probably oversight and government reform, or judiciary, actually. That's a sad thing. That's a sad notion. And, we used to be the party, Wolf, that was committed to, I'll say, law and order, but also the rule of law. And now we're trying to use the nuances of the law to overthrow the will of the people. That's never been the intention of that. And that's why I think we need to look at the Electoral Count Act, not just look at it, we need to make some reforms, because this dry run on January 6th that mercifully failed, there's a lot you can learn from it if you run this script again.
It's so worrisome. You say you believe some members of Congress actually knew what was going to happen on January 6th. Would you include Congressman Jordan in that group?
Well, there's a lot I don't want to say, but I think certainly he played a role in terms of pushing some of these theories. But I'm not going to go as far as to say he played a role in January 6th and what happened, but it is certainly in the scope, the legitimate scope of the January 6th committee. When we talk about what led up to it, we talk about the big lie, we talk about all this kind of stuff to find further information out, and we will. And like I said, we're going to move heaven and earth to get to the bottom of this. And we know that the Republicans, when they take the majority, which is likely if they take the majority, will try to shut down this committee. So we have a clock on us. We need to get to this quickly. And we've been pleased so far that the judicial system has ruled expeditiously, but expect to see more lawsuits, more frivolous lawsuits, to try to slow this down, because they know the truth is going to hurt.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Before I let you go, Congressman, I know you know this, but a group of more than 40 conservatives and Trump allies have actually written a letter calling for you and Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney to be removed from the House GOP caucus. You both have taken great personal risk to investigate the January 6th attack. So what's keeping you going amid this onslaught you're getting from members of your own party?
Well, it's fighting for the soul of a party that's going to be around a while. You know, I find it ironic that people like Tony Perkins sign that, the family, you know, with these family research councils or whatever, that, by the way, there's, as a Christian myself, I've never seen anywhere in the Bible the words of Jesus say things like, use conspiracy as long as you can take power. In fact, he very much eschewed getting it involved in government issues. And now instead we see these folks trying to remove Liz and I for telling the truth. I think it shows way more about them than us. I'm amused by it, but also saddened at the same time at the state of the party.
Yeah, it's pretty awful when you think about what's going on right now. Congressman Adam Kinzinger, if I don't see you before Christmas, I hope you and the family have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope 2022 is a better year for all of us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Amen. Thanks, Wolf.
All right.